going on, everybody?
Hello.
We got something special for y'all today. I know I said 7 and we a little late. It's blame Chevalier. That's what we always do is we blame Chevalier when we're late.
Even if it's not true, blame me anyway.
Now it's gonna be true all the time because for some reason it's always your fault, regardless. So
right on.
We got Molon Labe in the building with us today. Steve and Jen are here. They're gonna walk us through these amazing spirits and cigars they got, and we're gonna have a whole bunch of fun. So that's what we're gonna do. Thank y'all for coming. Thank y'all for doing this. How y'all want to get started? It's the floor is yours. Take it away.
Yeah, so thank you guys for having us on. We really appreciate it. You guys are like family to us here at Molon Labe, so thank you guys again. So what I thought we could do tonight is walk you through our perfect pairings. We had Cigar TV here last week and took them through our distillery. If you look at their clip from this week, they did a really nice job of kind of showing what we do with our spirit line. And what's really important to know about the spirit line is, there's a lot of buzz out in the industry right now about perfect pairings. There's a lot of buzz out there about, people matching cigars with certain spirits. But none of them were built with intention. And that's what I like to say. These 5 spirits to go with our cigars specifically. Not to say that if it pairs with a Maduro that it won't go well with another Maduro, it certainly will. Same thing with Habano, Connecticut, whatever. So we built these spirits with intention, and what makes these spirits unique is we grow everything that goes in this bottle in the state of New Hampshire. So all the wheat, all the rye, all the barley, all the corn is grown in New Hampshire by our farmers. We have built to scale this business up to about 350 barrels a week. And we've taken off in about 7 states now. So we are firmly planted in the New England states, Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont. We just signed a huge contract with Florida. If you guys saw, we posted this week our first pallet of spirits headed down to Florida. I'm going to be going down there. So those of you guys that live in Florida, we're going to be coming down there to meet with all the cigar lounge people. This perfect pairing exercise we're going to go through tonight. Texas, Georgia, and we also have an online presence, so you can actually order these spirits online, and we can ship them to you in 48 states. So if you can't get to the liquor store, you can't get to a lounge that has us, you can have the Molon Labe experience right in your house. And that makes us really unique. There's no other cigar company. Again, we started as a cigar company. There's no other cigar company in the world that can say they have cigars, spirits, and coffee all under one roof. So all manufactured with the same quality principles and all perfectly paired together. So there's a high percentage of success that if you ordered, let's say you ordered our gift box and got our coffee and got our spirits and got our cigars, that you'll have that same incredible experience in your house as you would out on the road or out at a lounge with your friends. So that's something I really want to share with you guys and hammer home. So we had, like I said, we had Cigar TV in here last week. We took them through the distillery. They were here at Ash. We're actually sitting outside at my lounge in New Hampshire to go through this with you guys. And we're going to take you through a pairing exercise. We're going to show you, and Jen does a fantastic job with the spirits and talking about how the spirits pair with the cigars. So why don't we kick it off? If you guys don't have any questions, why don't we kick it off with our single barrel bourbon?
Single barrel bourbon.
You guys
always got questions.
Yeah, I got questions because I'm the question guy.
So he just got to sit here and watch because he decided not to come to Houston. He decided to work. So
Ray, you have to drink for 2.
I do.
He does that anyway. He drinks for 2 all the time. But I'm with you guys in spirit.
I do have a question. Have a question. So I know it's a perfect pairing. And as you see, I don't have a cigar lit yet.
Okay.
So I want to make sure which one. You know what? I'm gonna shut up. Go ahead and do your perfect pair. I'm
All
gonna shut
right,
up.
that's
So
excellent. So thank you for seeding that question. So the way that we have branded our products for our spirits and our cigars is using a simple color coding. So our Molon Labe Reserva, which is the cigar that Steve is holding up right there, has a black and gold band. Also, our Nicaraguan Connecticut has a black and gold band. And that pairs with the black and gold single barrel bourbon that we are going to start off with.
they're color coded.
I was just about to say you guys were intentional with that thing.
Oh, that's cool.
That's
Yes.
cool for the
Yes.
novice. That's great for the novice.
Well,
Yes.
well, here's the conundrum, right? If you
So I
go
gotta
into a lounge, the bartender doesn't know the humidor, and the humidor specialist doesn't know the bar.
Right.
So if somebody put on a cigar and they walk up to the bar with a black and gold band, the bartender can instantly recognize that and say, I have the perfect pairing bourbon for that cigar.
That's
vice versa.
that's genius.
Thank you. So we are going to start with the single barrel bourbon. And Ray, to go more specifically to the question that you asked, you had the Dominican Habano, the Nicaraguan Habano, and the, I believe, the Dominican Maduro that you held up, if I got that right. Yeah, Dominican. And so go with whatever suits your palate. We're going to do the wheated second, which will pair well with that Maduro there.
I'll wait till we get there then.
And the Habanos go fantastic with the maple.
So let me caveat this. If you're a bourbon drinker and you smoke Maduro cigars and that's what you like, it's okay. Like you're not going to have a bad experience if you try this with its non-pairing cigar. You're just not going to have the same experience as the intention that we built it for. So there's no rules and boundaries. Palate for spirits is very similar to palates for cigars. And I'll just give you some rules of thumb. I don't know if you guys follow Michael Herklotz. I really follow him because I think he's a genius. I think he's a genius, right? He talked about this very topic the other day, and what he said made a lot of sense, right? You don't want the alcohol, the spirit, to overpower the cigar, and you don't want the cigar to overpower the spirit. You want to have a balance between the two. And that's what we've put together here is we put together the balance between the cigar and the spirit. Now, your personal palate for spirits may be different and you may have an enjoyable experience nonetheless. So it's okay. You know, there's no rules here. We just kind of set it up to make it easy. But at the end of the day, you're going to default to what you like. But we just tried to make it easy. So high alcohol content in spirits tends to overpower a cigar because you got that alcohol, you got that flame, you got that heat. You know, you got a hot cigar. This is you've got a coal at the end of this cigar. Michael did a great job of describing it. You got a coal at the end of the cigar. It's hot. You know, you don't want to put hot with hot. You want to put hot with floral. You want to put hot with, you know, smooth.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You want to put hot. You want to put hot with something that's cool, and you want to put something that is a little more flavorful or a little lighter with something that's a little strong, and that's going to give you a better experience. That's why, you know, we have Molon Labe, which tends to be a light to medium cigar, goes well with this bourbon.
Yes. So there we go. Perfect. So is that the single barrel there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, wonderful. Cheers.
Give it a sniff.
You know, when you're tasting bourbons or any kind of alcohol, the first taste that your palate experiences, your body interprets the alcohol as poison. So your first taste, you never judge your first taste. Your first taste is simply made to coat your palate, awaken your senses, and then it's your second, your third, that you're really going to be able to get your flavors, your notes, the aroma, all of that from. things that I like to remind people when they are pairing a spirit with a cigar is to retrohale, to taste the spirit breathing in and out of your mouth, do sip of spirit, puff of your cigar, sip of spirit, go back and forth between them and experience the difference. And again, like breathing in and out of the mouth and in and out of the nose, to be able to get all of the olfactory senses.
Well, let's go in for number 2.
So our single barrel bourbon, I get a lot of notes of vanilla. There's quite a bit of oak that is imparted into the spirit. In New Hampshire, our weather is chaotic year round. It's very, very cold in the winter, but we also have days where the sun comes out and it can feel somewhat balmy. And then our summers are hot and humid, and then a rainstorm comes through and it's crisp and it's cooler. And so the fall follows that suit. Same with the spring. And so in New Hampshire, with our barrel aging, we're essentially rickhousing outside in an uncast conditioned, or an environmentally not conditioned barn. And so the barrels are exposed to all of that fluctuation of seasons. And what that does is it causes and allows the spirit to move in and out of the barrel at a higher degree than it would in a state where the temperatures gradually climb and gradually decline and stay within a more consistent band and range. So we go from negatives to 100 year, all throughout the year.
Right.
And so you get a lot of oak coming into the spirits, and also there's a higher concentration of flavor coming from these bottles.
And just for the bourbon, for the spirit aficionados, our master distiller came from Mitters. He's an absolute genius. Like I said, we control everything from the field to the bottle, which very few people do today. And what that means is there's a lot of quality and a lot of flavor in the spirits that we produce. For that reason, we tend to barrel char less, not more. And because there's more movement in and out of the barrel with the weather, you have to make a decision as a distiller. Do you want to have the flavors of the field and the grains that you grow, or do you want to have the flavor of the barrel overpowering whatever the spirit is? So a lot of the spirits that are out there today are really driven by the barrel, not the ingredients. So you get a lot of the char, you get a lot of the charcoal, you get a lot of the maybe sweetness from the barrel, but you're not getting the flavors from the grains that you put in the barrel. So we try to balance that. So we lower the char. We know we have a lot of movement in the barrel, but we have an inherent sweetness in all of our spirits that comes from the barrel and the movement in and out of the barrel because of
I really like this, man. It's the body of it is great. Like it just feels like you're drinking something that had a lot of thought put into it. You can't say that about everything, but you really feel like it. Some whiskeys it's really loose. Some whiskeys it's like you're drinking syrup. This one has the best way that I can think to describe it. We've all drank water, so you've had regular spring water, but then if you drink like Fiji, the difference in body that water had, that's the difference that this has versus a lot of other bourbons that I've had.
I love that. Yeah, and so also another fact, many distillers and distilleries will barrel proof to 125, 135. And then you water, basically before you put your spirits into the bottle, you add water so that it isn't, sometimes you get a barrel proof spirit. That's what it is. It's the highest percentage alcohol coming straight from the barrel. Otherwise, you're adding water to get it to, an industry standard of like 90, 80, what have you. And we distill to 110 and only add water to 90 on this spirit. And so what that's going to give you is a higher percentage of that barrel juice, which is going to give that a little bit more weight. It certainly doesn't have a syrupy viscosity, but it is like heavy, heavier than a lot of the stuff you'll find on the shelf at a bar.
Yeah, you can actually taste the ingredients. I equate it to processed food, like, or this is one you guys can identify with. If you ever had a farm fresh egg, you'll never eat a store bought egg ever.
Yes, yeah, that's true. That is true.
Same thing here. So you're getting farm to bottle. You drink this and you go, "Oh my gosh, what have I been missing?" You know, I'm never going to eat a store bought egg ever again. And that's the same principle here. So
what is the average time in the barrel for your spirits?
This it's 4 years.
4 years.
Yeah. So to be a bourbon, it has to be 2 years. We aged this 4 years. And again, one of the other things I learned recently from my distiller is it may be 4 years for some years. It may be 5 years. It may be 6. It's whatever the profile is that we're trying to get consistently. It's just like tobacco. You have different tobacco years and patterns produce different flavors in the tobacco. It's not the same year after year. So somebody has to manage that profile to get that same cigar every year. It's the same thing here. The same principle applies.
Right.
More like I find myself thinking more like this is a 6-year aged bourbon because of the amount of flavor. You're not getting a ton of like youth. You're not getting an alcohol forward flavor when you're sipping this.
Yeah, it's definitely not alcohol flavor. Alcohol forward. It's definitely
yes, which a lot of people hear 4 years, they think, ooh, that's young. But because of so much movement in and out of the barrels, it really adds on some maturity to the flavor.
It's a mature 4 years. It's like dog years.
The barrels have been through a lot, as all of us have.
Yeah, the barrels have been through a lot.
It's like when you're married for 20 years. That's like 120 dog years.
Dog years, yeah, exactly.
Okay.
128 to be exact. If you're me and you're counting. If you're me and you're counting, you're multiplying that 7 times 20. You know, you get. It feels like 180 years, but it's great. It gets better with time, I guess.
So I'm glad you picked up on that, Ray, because you know that is what we hear from all of our customers is that rings and we've been spending a lot of time doing tastings in the state liquor stores in New Hampshire, and a lot of levels of people. Some people are experts, some people are just kind of passersby. But they all kind of say that same thing about our spirits is that the flavor profile is so unique. It just jumps out at them. We had a guy at the store today that was drinking Michter's for years, and he tasted ours and put the Michter's back on the shelf and bought our bottle and said, this is much better.
I would do the same. I would put Michter's back on the shelf for this single barrel.
That's what we're going for. And by the way, just to let everyone in the audience know, we are going to be releasing a limited edition version of this bourbon that's 10 years old next year in 26. And we will have the distinction of being the only distilled spirit 10 years old, I think, north of Maryland. So it's quite an accomplishment for us.
Wow.
It's coming out barrel proof at 112, and I've been tasting it, and it is amazing. It is absolutely amazing. So, and just to let the audience know, this has been a 10-year project. Like, this just didn't happen yesterday. We didn't partner with a distillery and say, oh, this is, this is
slap a label on it. Yeah, no.
This has been like a labor of love. It's been a long time coming. And now we're, getting into our stride, and the market is really receiving this well. And the price point is amazing. I mean, just to let people know, I'm sure everybody's thinking well, how much is it? $49.99 retail, depending on what state and what taxes or whatever. But the retail on this is $49.99. We think this could be a $70 bottle all day long.
I
Wow.
believe it could definitely be
Yeah.
upwards of 70, maybe even $80, $90 bottle. You guys got a question from one of our good friends, the Leaf, and
Eugenio.
Eugenio. I'm gonna call him by his
Eugenio.
name, Eugenio. He says, are your spirits available at Total Wines or whatever Bevmo is? So I don't know
Bevmo
what
is like a
Bevmo.
Total Wine or an ABC. And right now, no, not in every single state. So the way that the distribution works in our country is it's state by state. And so for each of those larger retailers that are across state lines, you have to be with a distributor in that state and then sell
Okay.
to that franchise. And so we are working on Total Wine in Massachusetts and Florida.
We've actually contracted for our maple bourbon, which we'll get to later. So that will be available in Total Wines, but we're going to have to sell it state by state, and then add the other spirits as we go. ABC, Bevmo, Specs, all on our radar screen. So we'll be working hopefully with all of those large organizations in the next year.
Yeah, and right now you can find it on our website. So if you go to molonlabecigars.com or mlcigars.com, you can have it delivered likely. I mean, there's a couple of states that we can't ship into, but our warehouse for
Massachusetts, California.
Our warehouse for our spirits is out of DC for our online business, which is a district, not a state. So they have a little bit of gray lines that they can play around with. So you can go on our website, have it delivered likely to your house. I'm not sure where that question originated from, what state you're in, but so just to tie up this one before we move on to our weeded, like I was saying at the beginning of pouring this single barrel bourbon, it pairs with our Molon Labe Reserva cigar as well as our Nicaraguan Connecticut. So both of those are a lighter cigar. You're going to taste more tobacco, and I get notes of vanilla on both of those cigars. The Molon Labe Reserva is just a beautiful cigar. It's Cuba leaf, very artisanal, 9-year age binder and filler, 15-year wrapper.
It's a Habano Claro from Windsor Lock, Connecticut. We only do 3,000 boxes a year. We sold about almost 3/4 of our inventory. So
I've had one, and it's delicious.
You can buy that online. A lot of the shops in Houston have Molon Labe now. A lot of the shops in New Hampshire have Molon Labe now. If anybody's interested in carrying it, they can reach out to us and we'll take care of you. Or you can order it online and we'll ship it to you.
Yes, and so both of those cigars are going to be like naturally sweet from the tobacco. Again, those notes of vanilla, a little bit of baking spice on the Nicaraguan Connecticut. And so they lend themselves really well to the single barrel that has so much of that natural oakiness, kind of buttery vanilla notes. And it doesn't compete with those cigars that are a little lighter. So that's why those pair. Again, like we were saying, if you're smoking any stick, like I'm smoking the Nicaraguan Habano, which happens to be my favorite that we make, and I'm getting a little more spice up front, pairing these two. And Steve's smoking the Maduro. So you're probably getting some of the chocolatey notes on that.
What's amazing is when I drink the single barrel bourbon with the Maduro, this tends to overpower most bourbons. This thing can happen with this bourbon. It actually accentuates. It makes it. I get a stronger pull towards the ingredients with this cigar. It's pretty intense, but it's delicious.
Excellent. So we're going to move on to the weeded next. I see you're lighting up your Dominican Maduro there. So that cigar has notes of black pepper, coffee, and chocolate, like a dark bittersweet chocolate. Our Nicaraguan Maduro, which also is a blue label that pairs well with the wheated. Yes, that Steve is smoking. That people call chocolate cake. It's a little lighter in area. It's airy, really creamy, beautiful smoke, milk chocolate, dark chocolate notes, and definitely more medium than the Dominican Maduro, because that one's a bit stronger. So our wheated, can you pour that for us?
Sure.
Cool. So our wheated bourbon has wheat instead of rye in the mash bill. So when compared to our single barrel bourbon mash bill, that has barley,
71% corn, 15% rye, 14% malted barley. And then in the wheated, 71% corn, 15% wheat instead of rye, 14% malted barley.
excellent.
So it's the next, the single barrel is our flagship. The beaded is the next expression of that, and then the maple is the next expression of that.
Yes. So our wheated, you're going to get some notes of orange blossom, honey. It's
Amazing.
very delicate. So while that single barrel bourbon has quite a bit of sweetness to it, a lot of body, the wheated is inherently, I mean, any wheated is going to be a more delicate, softer bourbon. I taste a little more heat with the wheated, and that's why I love, this is my favorite pairing of our cigars and spirits, is the Maduro with this spirit, because it completely transforms how the spirit tastes. So Ray, since you have both of these there, I would try your spirit and kind of find that a little bit of the orange blossom, the honey, the inherent sweetness, really let the spirit open up. And then try your cigar. If you can retrohale, and then try the spirit again and see how that like heavier, stronger smoke really carries out the spirit through your palate.
Just to let you guys know, this is the cigar smoker's favorite
By far.
So if you smoke cigars and you like to drink whiskey, this is your pairing. We do events all over the country, and at the end of the day, this one wins out with the cigar smokers. Just because it's a great complement to the smoke, it's a little more subdued, so it doesn't overpower the cigar, and really accentuates the flavors in that cigar.
Y'all need to get y'all one of these. Y'all need to get y'all one of these. The way that the flavors opened up when I went back to the whiskey, and then they kind of started dancing together with the flavors of the cigar. This was Chevalier. Do you feel you left out?
Not really. I'm reading the comments. I'm gonna start throwing some of the questions out there in a minute, but I'm letting you talk.
Yeah.
There was a question in here from Eugenio. He wants to know, spice like a chili pepper, or what kind of spice should he be looking for in
on cigar?
Was that maybe when I was talking about the Habano?
Yeah.
Yes.
So the Habano, Jen likes to describe it as pizza.
That's the Dominican Habano.
Oh, Dominican Habano.
Yeah. I think so. The Dominican Habano is very spicy. I call it my pizza stick. I get like red pepper flakes that you put on a pizza. It is very spicy. And the Nicaraguan Habano that I am smoking, I get a little cayenne on the retrohale, but you kind of have to search for it. It's not a very a strong spice for a Habano. That's why I really like it. I think that this Nicaraguan Habano has quite a bit of earth, tons of nuttiness, really creamy, and so it balances and kind of cools down the Habano wrapper's inherent spice that it has. But yeah, that was something that I was picking up with the single barrel and the Habano for sure.
So just to give guys some background if you don't know. So San Andreas on both Maduros, Dominican, Nicaraguan. So that's where you get that inherent chocolatiness. You get a little bit of earthiness from that. So Ray, that's what you're smoking.
Mm-hmm.
The difference is the binder filler. So the Dominican binder filler is from Tamboril. We grow it on our farms. It is really, really, really nice tobacco. The Maduro from Nicaragua, we buy our tobacco from AJ Fernandez Farms. So it's AJ Fernandez binder and filler with a San Andreas wrapper. The Habano on both the Dominican and Nicaraguan cigars is Ecuadorian Habano. That's why Ecuadorian Habano tends to be a little bit spicy, depending on what it's paired with and the binder filler. So our Nicaraguan binder filler Habano is Plasencia Farms. The Dominican Habano is from Tamboril, and we tend to use second priming leaves on the plant, which again tend to be a little milder but a little spicier, and that's why you get that cayenne pepper, that red pizza spice that Jen was mentioning on the Dominican cigar.
Yeah, I can't retrohale the Dominican Habano. My eyes water. Like a schoolgirl at lunch period that just got broken up with or something. It's not a good look.
Well, Jim, I'm the same way. Anything spicy is gonna have me in tears. I'm a little soft when it comes to that.
It don't take much to have you in tears, sir.
Nicaraguan Habano. You'd like the Nicaraguan Habano because the way that the tobaccos are blended together really cool down the Ecuadorian Habano wrapper.
Yeah, and for those of you that are listening that know Cigar Mike, the Dominican Habano is his absolute favorite. Like, he kills for that cigar, and he loves that cigar. So he buys boxes, he smokes that cigar religiously because he likes the flavor profile. He likes that, pizza spice that's in that cigar. And again, it goes really well with this.
Jump ahead.
It goes really well with the maple, because the maple tends to be a little bit sweeter. It has a little sweeter with that. It's bourbon forward, but it's got that maple sweetness on the back. It kind of levels out that spiciness and enhances it. But as far as this weeded goes with the Maduro, I mean, that San Andreas wrapper really gets accentuated with the spirit. What?
The pretty boys always cry, huh? I see Jen's over there laughing. The pretty boys always cry. There's always gonna be one.
It's the truth. I think that's the truth. All right, Clay, what other questions have you found in the chat?
That's about it so far. Everybody is really
the last one was about the chili pepper, the spice.
Right.
Everybody else is they're laughing at Eugenio saying the pretty boys always cry right now.
the chat is moving fast over here with laughter emojis all over the place here.
So Ray, how are you liking the Maduro and the weeded as you're kind of going through both?
It is a beautiful pairing, just the way that the flavors ignite each other. It's not just a work together, they ignite each other, and it elevates each flavor of the cigar and the flavor of the whiskey. I can honestly say I don't think I've had a pairing like this ever before, because it works together so well. It was very intentional, and you can tell in this pairing.
That's awesome. You got it. You nailed it.
I know it's going to be hard for you to move off of that.
It is. I was. You saw I grabbed some water, waiting for the next one, but I really want to get some more. So,
I don't blame you. All right, so next we are going to go with the rye whiskey. So this is 85% rye, no corn in this. And it's a really interesting rye. Let me finish my weeded for a second. Tell them about the mash bill.
So this rye whiskey harkens back to an old school rye recipe, one of the original rye recipes coming out of one of the major houses that was passed on to my distiller. And what makes it unique is it's 85% rye, 15% malted barley, no corn. And I'm going to get on my soapbox here a little bit. So if you're a rye drinker out there, you tend to drink rye because you like it because it's spicy, it's hot. And that comes from all of the rye seed. The rye seed tends to be bitter. It tends to, impart a lot of heat. And what most distillers do to cut that heat and cut that spiciness is they add corn. So there's some corn component, a lot of the ryes that are out there.
And so, like Steve was alluding to, this is an older recipe that this spirit is based off of. And so it's called a Monongahela style of making the rye. And what it does is essentially downplays the heat that comes from that hull for the strain of rye that's used. So this, when compared to other ryes, yes, you're still going to taste an inherent spice because it is 85% rye, right? It is delicate. The way that this move around in your mouth, I always say that it dances on my tongue. The nose, I get chamomile tea. Steve gets.
Wait a minute.
That's
You are. Wow.
I get chamomile tea, and if you ever had Big League Chew, you ever had Big League Chew bubble gum?
Yeah.
Yes.
Stuff that comes from the pouch. Smell that, Ray, and tell me it doesn't smell like Big League Chew.
I don't.
Oh my gosh, it does. The nose on this rye is just incredible. It's so floral and so delicate and so beautiful. And again, we pair this with Connecticut cigars. And the reason we do that is a Habano or a Maduro would overpower that floralness, and you would never get the notes out of this that you want to. So you want something that's light, that's mild, but still flavorful, but it's not going to overpower the rye. We believe wholeheartedly, and we're going to be submitting this next year. We believe this is a gold medal winner all day long. I'll give you an example. I had a customer come in my lounge the other day. He said, I only drink Willet Rye. That's the only thing I drink. It's my go-to. I don't drink anything else.
Not once he tastes this.
That stuff is $100 a bottle. Okay? I sell it in my bar. So I poured him one, and I said, okay, I'm going to pour you mine, and I want you to taste them side by side. So he tasted the Willet. He came back. He tasted the Molon Labe Rye, and he said, I'm switching brands. And it's half the price. So, you're getting a better quality product that's more flavorful, more delicate and wonderful than a $100 bottle of Willet, which is a brand market name on the market. So this stuff is absolutely delicious. I mean, if you're a rye, and by the way, we call it a transitional rye, and we call it transitional because a lot of bourbon drinkers, they like the inherent sweetness of the corn, right? So they don't like the spiciness that goes along with a traditional rye. And I can't tell you how many bourbon drinkers I put on this rye that absolutely love it and drink it. So we call it transitional. If you're a bourbon drinker, you could drink this rye and really enjoy it.
And as Steve was saying, this goes really great with the Connecticut, again, so that it doesn't overpower and compete with how delicate these flavors are. You can really easily miss. That's our Dominican Connecticut right there. You can easily enjoy this. It's a great spirit with any cigar, but you're not going to be able to pick up on the subtle nuances of those floral notes. It's not going to dance around your mouth the same way. I mean, something that I always enjoy when people are tasting this is they'll have a sip and then they're smoking their cigar and they're like, I still taste it. Like my mouth is coated.
I was just going to say that.
Yeah.
Like it's, first of all, it's delicious.
So good. It's so delicious.
It, like you say, the flavors just they just dance around. But it's coated, like the finish is forever. It's coated in my mouth. It's just sitting there. It is amazing. Y'all better get y'all one of these. Shabal, you feel left out yet?
Nope, because I'm sitting here. Hey, I'm making notes in the comments. Things like it's known as a transitional rye. You know, it's the price point of the rye is half the price of the $100 Woolet. These are the things that they need to know. I'm answering questions before they ask them.
Thank you, Shabalia. You are our scribe.
I'm your scribe tonight.
He's the scribe tonight.
I'm your non-smoking, non-drinking scribe tonight.
Thank you. We need one.
And I'll tell you.
That's right.
I'll tell you what happens with this too, that people come back to me after they've had it or they bought some. They come back to me and tell me they drink this, and like 2 days later, they're thinking about it. They're like, I'm thinking about it in my mind. I'm thinking about that taste in my mouth, and they want more. They're like, I want to have more of that.
Yeah.
So, you know, the impact is pretty significant in terms of experience, right? And hey, listen, we're going for experience. It's not just drinkability and flavor. It's that experience. Having a great experience, you're going to remember it, and you're going to want to do it. And that's what we're all about. That's what the Molon Labe experience is all about.
It's been what, 4 minutes since I took the last sip, and I still have the full flavor coated in my mouth.
Yeah.
The full flavor of I can taste every note right now, 4 minutes later. That's crazy.
Yeah, and I mean, I definitely suggest you revisit this one with the Dominican Connecticut. So the Dominican Connecticut is
I'm going to CDOT tomorrow. I'm going to CDOT tomorrow, and I'm going to grab them.
Tell Amin we say hi. We love him.
Yeah. I will.
And so that cigar, it's very earthy, and it has it's a stronger Connecticut. So our Nicaraguan Connecticut is light, creamy, vanilla, very approachable. The Dominican Connecticut is not a Connecticut smoker's Connecticut. It is strong. It's more medium than it is light. And the white pepper notes and the earth give it this complexity that really lends itself well to the rye. It helps bring out a little more of that pepperiness that people, and the spice that people typically seek in a rye. And it's just a really beautiful pairing.
Let me talk about the differences in those two cigars, because this is where we differ a little bit. So our Nicaraguan Connecticut is Connecticut USA wrapper, and the binder filler are Aganorsa Farms. So Aganorsa for cocoa wrapper. It's known for it's kind of got a Barney element to it, but it's really smooth and creamy. It's very easy to smoke. We put a lot of beginners on that cigar. Like, hey, I'm not into cigars. I'm starting my journey. Put them right on that Nicaraguan Connecticut, and they love it. The Dominican Connecticut is Ecuadorian Connecticut. Again, that's what lends itself for it to be a little peppery, a little spicier, a little earthier, a little stronger. I would never put a newbie on our Dominican Connecticut. It's just too strong. So if you want a little more strength in a Connecticut to accentuate, like Jen was saying, the rye, that's the one for you.
Yeah.
I just took a sip of water because it's been 6 minutes and I still taste the and I want to smoke this cigar.
Right? It's absolutely amazing. And we've had, and this is no joke. So as we've been journeying around the country trying to get distributors to carry our spirit line, a lot of these guys are experts. I mean, they drink everything. They're drinking, rye whiskeys from everybody. And I have put that in front of guys that are 30, 40 years in the business and say it's the best rye they've ever had.
Wow.
And that's a compliment. We'll take that all day long.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely if whether or not you're a rye drinker, you're gonna love that. You're gonna love it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just the fullness, the way that the mouthfeel is also amazing. The
Yes.
post sip mouthfeel is like none other.
Yeah.
It's
Like
amazing.
velvety.
Yeah, yeah. You
And
coat your
again,
mouth, it sits there. The finish just lets you linger in that moment
Yeah.
for hours.
well, I'm gonna say this a billion times, and everybody's gonna get sick of me saying it. Quality ingredients make quality products, and that's where you taste the difference. It's absolutely head and shoulders above anything else because the quality of the product is so excellent. It's exceptional, And again, for $49, $50 a bottle, it's out of this world. So,
Definitely. It is definitely out of this world.
all right, we're gonna move on to some funness. We're getting fun now.
Oh
So,
man.
in the state of New Hampshire, we are, if you've ever been in the New England states, we're very proud of our maple syrup here in New Hampshire. We actually, there's a lot of people that manufacture maple syrup from our trees here, and we thought it was only right for us to create a maple flavored bourbon. And let me tell you, so it's the same mash bill as the first bourbon that you tried. So 71 corn, 15% rye, 14% malted barley. And we actually use New Hampshire grade A maple syrup right here from the state of New Hampshire, which makes the best maple syrup. I don't care if there's people from Vermont, Canada, whatever. We make the best maple syrup. I don't care what you say. So I am a maple syrup connoisseur, bar none.
Okay.
I have pancakes every Sunday with maple syrup. What we do different with our maple, and there's a few maple products on the marketplace. I think Knob Creek makes one. There's a couple of others. But what these companies do is they start with subprime ingredients. They make a bourbon. They add maple syrup to the barrel. So it comes off the line. They fill the barrel. They add maple syrup into the barrel. So what does that do? You just spend a lot of time distilling off all these sugars. You put it in the barrel. You put sugar in the barrel.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So what do you get? You get a sticky, thick, low quality product that might appeal to people that like really sticky, syrupy, sweet products.
Right.
What we do is we add maple syrup during the distillation process. So as we're distilling the mash build, we add the maple syrup and we distill it down. Now we don't distill off all the sugars, so it has an inherent sweetness to it from the maple syrup. But when you taste it, Ray, it's bourbon forward. The first thing that you taste on your tongue is bourbon. You taste that bourbon, that original bourbon that you tasted. That's what you're going to taste. And then the maple and the sweetness will hit the back of your tongue. And then the last thing you're going to taste is a little bit of smokiness from the barrel, from the charcoal. And this goes exceptionally well. Jen has her cigar, so we'll hold them up together. As you can see, Red Label goes with Red Label. It goes fantastic with a Habano cigar.
Yes, there she is.
There it is. And the reason is, this cigar, this Habano cigar tends to be caramel. I call it caramely. It's caramely. It's nutty.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a tiny bit of spice, but not a lot. I get other flavors, the nuts, the caramel, more so than I get any spiciness off of that cigar. So when you pair that with a sweet maple bourbon, the combination is mind blowing. So give it a try, Ray, and tell us what you think.
Yeah, it's definitely not overpowered with the sweetness from the maple syrup, but it's amazing. And we had I had this at the Black and Gold Ball at NOLA Cigar Fest for the in those old fashions. And let me tell you something: a maple bourbon old fashioned, Go and get
Yeah.
you one of them. That what you
I
got
can
right
definitely
there.
attest to that. We drank those all night at the Black and Gold Ball, and they were absolutely amazing.
But I did have to tell the bartender how to make one, you know. So we're not going there next year. But I did have to tell the bartender, don't shake and stir that up.
Here's the thing with bartenders. This is why Jen ends up jumping behind the bar everywhere we go to make these for people because of the inherent sweetness of the product. You don't have to add sugar to it. You don't have to add simple syrup, and you definitely don't need to put a cherry in there with cherry syrup. You put a rock, you put 2 ounces of the maple bourbon, a drop or two of bitters, and a toasted orange peel, and that's it.
You have to burn the bitters. You got to toast them really well.
Okay. I'm making them at the house.
Yeah. So if you use your bitter.
Uh-oh. Did they freeze up?
Yeah. Just
swirl your glass, let the flame go, pour in your maple, your rock, and then really burn an orange peel. And rim the glass with your orange peel and then drop it in. And I mean, almost every day, this is what you can find me drinking and smoking, because this pairing is fire. I mean,
I'm making these at the house from now on.
Yeah, and it kind of lends itself a little bit more to like a culinary pairing, is what I experience with this, because you have the sweetness and then you have the spice, and like every single sip, my palate is bouncing between like sweet and spicy, and it's just unbelievable.
And then a couple other drinks. I know a lot of people live in hot weather climates, so sometimes that's not refreshing enough. We recently came up with a cocktail. We're calling it Steve Spritzer, and it's 2 ounces of maple bourbon, a shot of soda water, some prosecco, just a drop of simple syrup with an orange or orange peel. And it's so refreshing. I call it "Here Comes the Floor."
Here comes the floor.
Wow.
Yeah, because you drink it like it's maple soda, and after you've had 2 or 3, you've had 6 shots of maple bourbon
and prosecco.
You might be looking up at the ceiling. I don't know.
That sounds like a French 75 Molon Labe way on steroids.
I like the name.
Yeah.
Here Comes the Floor better than Steve.
Here comes the floor.
Me too.
It sounds like a weed strain.
Yeah.
So the other drink that you can make with this that's really exceptional, and we put a lot of bartenders on this who absolutely love it, and that is making an espresso martini with maple bourbon instead of vodka. So it's a maple martini is out of this world. It is so good. I mean, it is just incredible. And people that go on to those never drink them with vodka ever again.
Yeah.
It's just incredible.
It's great in our Death by Chocolate coffee if you're pre-gaming for a football game in the morning. The Death by Chocolate coffee and the maple bourbon, just putting a shot of that in there, it's really tasty.
So it's pretty versatile. It's good on its own.
You can cook with it.
It's good with a rock. We had somebody cook maple glazed bacon with this maple bourbon. They've used it as a glaze for beef and pork, and it is incredible.
I attempted to use it on a turkey at Thanksgiving, but it just kept ending up in my glass.
I'm not mad at you.
Bird.
Jim, have you heard the term "you're not supposed to get high on your own supply"? Have you heard that term, Jim?
I don't believe it.
Right now.
I don't believe it.
Jen's ordering samples at least once a week now, which is
that's not true. That's not
man.
True. For the
Every time I see Jen, she's always smiling, Steve. Every time I see her, I go to give her a hug. She's always smiling, so I think she might be getting a little high on those.
Yeah, she's three maple old fashioned. She loves everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, three maple old fashions deep.
Yeah.
But I make espresso martinis on every morning on my day off, so that's definitely what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
I love
I'm gonna
that.
throw this in there.
Add the maple bourbon range, shake it really hard, get a nice foam on the top, and I'm telling you, it's a life changer. It's really amazing. Um,
Be
so,
looking out on Thursday morning because I'm gonna post one.
are there any questions from anybody on the maple product?
You know
Brothers
what?
Oscuro says it would be a great glaze on a rack of ribs.
A rack of ribs.
Agreed.
I'll tell you guys another funny story. We've been tasting this down in Texas a lot. So we spent a lot of time in Texas, Houston, Dallas. And we went to one lounge, and there were some gentlemen in there. We made some old fashions for them with the maple. And they called it sweet tea. And these guys were hammering this stuff. And I said, "You guys got to slow down. You're like 3 of these in, like take it easy." They're like, "This is sweet tea, the greatest stuff we've ever had." So
It's proof. It's not like this is a liqueur. It tastes like a mixer, but it's straight up. So
the last spirit in our lineup is near and dear to my heart, and I think it is absolutely amazing, and that is our barrel aged rum. And we wanted to add a rum component to our spirits because rum goes well with cigars too. But we put a little different twist on this to keep it in the spirit of the family. What we do is we use grade B backstrap molasses from Jamaica. For those of you drinkers, old school rum was always made with molasses. And they stopped. Most companies stopped using molasses because it's very expensive. It's very expensive to make. It's very labor intensive. And it just costs a lot of money to mass produce rum. So they went to sugarcane because sugarcane is cheap. Sugarcane is expensive. So most of the rums that you buy, whether it's a clear rum or even spiced or flavored rum, chances are it's made with sugarcane, not molasses. But we decided to go old school, keep with the quality principles that we have for everything that we make. So we use the very best product that we can. And the kicker is we age it 6 years in our bourbon barrels. So, you cannot reprovision bourbon barrels. You can't reuse them. You can only use the barrel once. So we decided to put those barrels to work, and we put that rum in our bourbon barrels. We age it 6 years. And what we've created is a sipping rum. It's not really a good mixer at all. It drinks like a light whiskey.
I think it drinks like a scotch. I get peatiness from the barrel.
Jen says scotch. I still taste the rum elements from the molasses, but it really drinks and looks like a light whiskey. And the reason we don't have a pairing for this product is because it cuts across everything. It really goes with every cigar. So it doesn't matter if it's Dominican, Nicaraguan, Honduran, doesn't matter if it's Connecticut, Habano, Maduro. You can drink this rum with any cigar and have a good experience.
It's really, I call this my wild card.
Yeah.
You did a blind tasting of this. I think the room would turn up all sorts of answers because you get definitely there's some spice that you find that you can assimilate to a Caribbean rum. But the barrel imparts so much flavor. I mean, I at one time loved craft breweries. I am from the West Coast, and so I spent a lot of time in Portland, craft brewery capital of the U.S., and a lot of people play around with bourbon barrel-aged stouts, and those always confused my palate. Like, am I drinking a beer or am I drinking a bourbon? What's happening? And that's what I assimilate this to. Like, your palate is experiencing so much depth of flavor that, like Steve said, I mean, it really can lend itself to any cigar.
If you smell this, the nose on this smells like whiskey to me. Like it doesn't smell like traditional rum. You smell it.
I get straight.
It smells like whiskey.
Yeah.
But when you drink it, you get those notes of molasses and that inherent sweetness of molasses with that whiskey sort of back of your palate. And then there's definitely an inherent smokiness in this rum that certainly comes from the barrel.
Yeah.
And
so like when I drank it, I said, this isn't rum. This is whiskey. But then as it settled, I said, wait a minute, what's going on here? You know, I do get the spice from like a Caribbean rum, but I also get whiskey. But then, I get whiskey as it sits, I get rum as it sits. In the very beginning, it feels like a scotch. So it's amazing how it just encompasses so much. But it's delicious. It's like it, and I understand exactly what you say when you say if you do a blind tasting of this, if you blind taste tested 10 people, you would get 10 completely different answers of what this is.
Completely. Yeah.
And what's interesting, again, we taste a lot up and down and around the country. And the folks in the South, so Texas, Florida, Georgia, they love this.
Yeah.
This becomes an absolute fan favorite in the southern states for sure. Up north, I think it confuses a lot of people. They don't they can't put pieces together. They don't, because they're not heavy rum drinkers up here. They're just not. Down south, there's a lot of rum drinkers. So they really, really like this. Up north, it confuses a few people. However, they end up loving it. And when because it pairs with everything, you know, if they can't make up their mind what they want, we put them on this and they go, wow, this is an amazing pairing. The other thing is, so many whiskey drinkers are like, I'm never drinking rum. Like, don't even give me rum. I don't want rum. I don't want anything to do with rum. We say, try this. And they try it and they end up loving it. So the whiskey element really rings true for a true whiskey drinker. They'll end up really liking this a lot.
Definitely.
Now, Steve, I noticed that you mentioned earlier. You mentioned earlier, Steve, that you guys were intentional about using molasses instead of using sugar cane, right?
I think we lost you guys.
Did you lose us? Hello?
Can you repeat that question?
Oh, can you hear me now? Is that a little better? I said, I heard you mention earlier when you were talking about making the rum that you guys were intentional about using molasses versus the sugar cane that everybody's going to, right? And so what I wanted to ask Ray, since I'm not drinking right now, Ray, were you able, because I know you drink rum, were you able to tell the difference in what you've drank before in your rum experience, the difference between the molasses versus using the sugar cane?
Well, yeah, molasses is always going to be richer. When you're drinking the rum, molasses is going to be richer than sugar cane anyway. But with this one, and I'll answer Eugenio's question with this answer too. I was able to taste the molasses. I was able to taste the molasses. I was able to taste the barrel. I was able to taste the ingredients. And like I said, it's so Eugenio asked, does it transition? And yes and no. It's not a transition because when you pour it in a glass, it looks like scotch. When it first hits the front of your lips, it feels like scotch. Then as you drink it, it tastes like whiskey, and then it tastes like rum. Like as it spreads, it tastes like rum. But it also still tastes like whiskey.
So it's a lighter taste than what you would get in the typical rum, or be more like a whiskey, a sort of lighter flavor. Because you know me, I'm always picking up the more spices on what I drink. Would you say it's a lighter flavor for you, Ray? In a sense? I would say it's
It's lighter than the other 4 that we drank, but it's so, like, again, it's like going from drinking, like, if you drink distilled water that has no flavor, right? And then you go and you drink Aquafina, or not Aquafina, Evian or Fiji water. The how it's
more
a heavier
robust.
liquid, and it has a better mouthfeel. You feel
The
it
viscosity.
as you the viscosity. You feel it as you experience it. It's taken over like 3 senses, 4 senses, all of them.
Wait until you put an ice cube in it, because it completely changes the experience. Like, this is the one that is the hottest for me.
It is hot. It is hot.
Hot. And when you put ice in this, it is real primo for my palate.
So that complexity that you just described, Ray, I describe it as layers of a cake. It's like a 4-layer.
Right.
When you took a fork full of a cake, you get the frosting, then you get a cake, and then you get a frosting, and then you get a cake, and then you get frosting, right? Or whatever, But that complexity in flavors is what gives it its beauty. It's really, really beautiful. And with like I said, I'm all about the cigar. I mean, I love the spirits, but I'm all about the cigars. And with any cigar, this thing just absolutely blows your mind.
Exactly. You saw me going back and forth. You saw me going back and forth with this one. It's like it was made for it. It's amazing.
The Dominican line, Connecticut, Habano, and Maduro, because they have so much pepperiness from the earth coming out of Tamboril. That line specifically, if somebody challenged me and said, well, all of your cigars pair with all of your spirits, so why do you have this one that doesn't pair? I would say that this pairs with our Dominican line, because it really, they have enough earth and depth and like weight. The smoke is heavy on your palate, that I think that it stands up to those changing waves that the rum presents.
It really does.
Yeah.
So when Jen and I were, we were sampling Flor de Cana. If you've ever drank Flor de Cana,
yes, we have.
Nicaragua.
Funny story about Flor de Cana. While we were at Charlotte's Cigar Week, we met one of the reps for Flor de Cana and had the pleasure to interview him. And after we interviewed him, he gifted us a bottle of, what was it, the 25-year?
25-year Flor de Cana.
24.
24.
He gifted us a bottle of that. And we sat on the patio at the Airbnb, and we drank it as we
like
drank
it was sweet tea.
Yeah.
It's water. I swear. Flor de Cana just goes through your system.
Compared to this, I prefer this. You can put, Chevalier, you can put that bottle of Flor de Cana rum that we were drinking as if it was water, and we didn't know how much it cost, so we was just knocking it back like it wasn't nothing, up against this. Right here.
The way, look, guys, we were drinking it and eating popcorn and Doritos on the patio, like it was just a Thursday morning.
So if you've ever seen Flor de Cana do a presentation, they put a little bit in their hands and they wipe it together, and they say no sugar. And the reason they do that, it's not sticky. I just did that with ours.
Do it, Ray.
There's a very slight stickiness. It's not complete evaporation.
Probably from the barrel.
But it's clean. There's
that's that molasses in the barrel.
My fingers aren't sticky. My hands aren't sticky. I mean, so it's right when we talk about it being hot, you can tell that it's going to do that very same thing.
He's still
Y'all hear
wiping.
that? Y'all hear that?
We hear it.
That sounds like rough hands, bud.
Trust me, they're not rough now.
Those are working hands.
Yeah, that sounds like rough hands at church, right?
We hear the friction.
No, it's not. It's not. My hands are not sticky. They're not sticky.
I know. So, and think about it. That Florida Cana 24, I think, is $250 a bottle. It's up there. This is $50.
I know we drank it like it was $10 a bottle.
So,
I love that.
when I go to my factory in Nicaragua, they always have me out for dinner, and they drink that stuff like it's water. I mean, they'll drink 10 bottles and still
been there.
Been there, done that.
Still be walking around like everything's okay. I'm like, man, you guys.
I tell you what, you ain't gonna drink 10 bottles of this and walk around like everything okay.
No, you are not. No, you are not.
So there was a question earlier. Eugenio had a question. He asked about the proofs of your spirits.
Spirits, yes.
I'm sorry, it just glitched. Can you say it again?
Oh yeah, Eugenio was asking. Excuse me. What are the proofs of your spirits?
Yeah. So
single barrel bourbon is 90. Reeded is 90. Rye is 90.
Yeah.
Maple is 80. Rum is 90.
And he also asked, Jen, do you recommend a cube in the rum?
I do. So I think that the rum has some heat to it, depending on what your palate is, what you usually drink. I find myself, and when I serve this to other people, like not in a tasting, but to give them a little bit, that it is more enjoyable with a cube. And I also think that when the water, I mean, a lot of times when people will taste spirits, they like to have an eyedropper of water, and they will put a tiny amount of water into their sip of spirit. Mm-hmm. And what the water does is it opens up the alcohol, so you can get more of the aroma. You can smell a little bit more of it. It kind of opens up the spirit on your palate, makes it move down your tongue a little bit easier. And so I think that a cube makes this rum really sing. I mean, it's meant to be sipped. So I do.
I used to put a little water in my whiskey when I was tasting it for the first time.
Yeah.
But then I stopped doing that because I'm not going to keep an eyedropper, and I'm not going to always keep water. So I'm not going to do that, because if I like it, I like it. I want to like the actual, you know what I mean? So I stopped doing that.
Yes.
For me, a cube is too much. A cube is too much. I like to get the full flavor.
Yeah, me too. I like drinking that straight. I like drinking that straight with the cigar, because it's amazing and not overpowering. So that's our lineup, and you can see this has been, like I said, a 10-year project that's coming to fruition and really making a lot of waves in the industry. And I will tell you guys, the cigar business alone is difficult. We talked about this in our last podcast. Getting into the cigar business is really difficult. Getting into the whiskey business is 10 times as difficult,
if not more,
as the cigar business. But we are on a mission to bring this experience to people in a way. It's becoming more and more prevalent in the podcast. You see people talking about experience. Well, they're out there having their experiences in different ways. We've put it in a box and said, hey, you can have this amazing experience through us. Right. And nobody else, there's no one else that can do that right now. So
and the coffee's amazing. So
and the coffee is. I will tell you, I am so hooked. You talk about being high on your own supply. I probably drink five or 10 cups of coffee a day, and I can't drink other people's coffee anymore. I actually literally just dump it out. I can't drink it. We make 5 coffees, and I'm going to talk about not to digress, but I'm going to talk about the coffee in a way that we just talked about the spirits and the cigars. The way we tasted 120 coffees from around the world to get to 5. And what qualified those 5 were very similar to what we did here. Will it overpower the cigar? Will it complement the cigar? What cigar will it go with? So we have a dark roast Italian. We call it Soprano. I'm Italian, Sicilian. So you got to have a Soprano in there. It's a dark roast Italian. It goes amazing. It's a very strong coffee. You don't want to pair that with a very strong cigar. So it's a good first morning coffee. It's a good espresso. Makes a great espresso. Then we make a Sumatra from Indonesia. The thing about that is it's a dark French roast coffee. It's very floral but strong. Goes really well with a Habano cigar. Right? Goes well with a Habano cigar. Opens it up. Then we make a Nicaraguan coffee. And again, Nicaragua, right? So if you're smoking Nicaraguan cigars, it's a medium-bodied cigar. So it's dumbed down a little bit. It's not as strong. And again, you can smoke that with a Maduro cigar. You can smoke with a Habano. You can even smoke with a Connecticut Nicaraguan cigar and have an amazing experience. Then we added 2 flavored coffees. We added a Death by Chocolate, which everybody loves. It makes an amazing espresso martini. At my bar here, we won Best Espresso Martini for New England from the magazine in 2024. Using that coffee, we partnered with Broken Shed Vodka on that. They've been a great partner of ours to bring that to market. And that coffee is a dark roast coffee where we roast dark chocolate and milk chocolate into the beans. So it's not a flavored coffee in a sense. It's actually got chocolate in it, and you can taste it. It tastes like dark milk chocolate and coffee candy bar. And then the last one is a flavored. The last one is a flavored coffee creme brulee. Sorry, we got a lot of motorcycles that roll in here.
Good for them.
Yeah. For those of you that don't know, I'm a big motorcycle guy, so we got a lot of.
They come and get some of that rum.
Right. We make a.
Yeah, they're coming to get the sweet cigars. Right. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
That's what those are like.
Yeah. I give those guys such a hard time. It's like, oh, you're smoking a acid cigar and driving a Harley. Like, what the hell?
Don't seem to go together, does it?
All these tattoos and all these muscles, and you're smoking, ladies. That's terrible. But we make a creme brulee coffee that is, that's a true flavored coffee. It's a dark roast coffee, but it's got creme brulee flavoring. And again, it tastes like creme brulee. It's very sweet. It goes amazing, pretty much across the line. You can drink that with anything. But really accentuates a Connecticut cigar. Like if you smoke a Connecticut cigar in the morning with a creme brulee coffee, it's a great experience. So we brought all of that together, all of those pairings together, so you could have that experience. And before we leave, I know we're pushing the top of the hour. I don't know if you guys saw that we released our first Molon Labe Maduro cigar.
Yes.
We released it this week. It comes in a nice felt package. I'm going to open this up for you. This is what the box looks like.
Oh, wow. Very nice.
And to be quite honest with you, and I'm not saying this because I make this cigar, I think this is the best cigar we've ever made. And I'll show you what it looks like inside.
Wow. Very nice.
Well, I'm gonna have to get my hands on some of them, so I'm
gonna have to make
them orders.
This is a cigar that you smoke for the first time. You can't take it out of your mouth. Like you want to put it right back in, and after you finish it to the nub, you want to have a second one. And then when you go to bed, you're going to wake up the next day and say, I want to have one of those cigars.
That's how I feel every time I smoke a Molon Labe Reserva. But this one especially.
That's my favorite.
I get notes of mole, like the Mexican chocolate. Like it's savory and sweet. It's just unbelievable.
So it's a 10-year San Andreas. This was a 3-year project. It took me 3 years to make 100 boxes. So that's how difficult this project was. It's a 10-year San Andreas wrapper with 12-year one small field Honduran tobacco, and Nicaraguan tobacco 10 years from a small field in Jalapa. So it's Jalapa, Honduras, San Andreas. It is, honestly, guys, I've been doing this for 10 years. This is the best cigar we've ever produced. Unfortunately, we can't mass produce it. We can't produce millions of these. So our first show, we made 100 boxes. We just rolled it out Wednesday night. There's probably 50 boxes left. It is a cigar.
A little less, but yeah.
A little less than 50 boxes left. And you can buy these, or you can only buy these online. So you got to go online and buy them. We're not making these available to our retailers. But we're hoping this becomes somewhat of a staple in the Molon Labe line. It's our first Maduro from Molon Labe, and it is absolutely incredible, mind-blowing.
Well, so, I got to get my hands on that.
I got to tell you guys this. So I've been dying over here because I haven't been able to participate. But what I can say, Gin the Reserva is my favorite. I've smoked all of your cigars. And of course, outside of the room, I've had all of your spirits here at El Jefe. You know, we've done a couple of things together here in Dallas. And that Reserva is my favorite. And I could just sit here and imagine some of this as we've been going through it. And I'm sitting here playing around in the questions. I can imagine a lot of these flavors that I've already experienced with your products. And I want to say for those of you who've seen this and you're not familiar with this brand, for me, the people that represent the brand speak volumes about the integrity of the brand and what goes into it. And if you know these two individuals the way we do, once you get to know them, you really have something to look forward to as it relates to their products. The cigars are amazing. The spirits are amazing, except for the rum, because I haven't had it yet.
It's amazing. I'm telling you right now.
I'm going to take Ray's word for it because he has a really discriminate palate when it comes to cigars, a lot more discriminate than mine. And so it's been a pleasure for me just knowing you guys and watching the growth of Molon Labe. You know, I remember it's been, 2 years since I met you guys. And I remember not knowing who you were. And then to turn around and see you everywhere has been phenomenal.
Yeah.
Just to watch the growth. And the fact that you guys took the time to say, hey, we want the guys on the lounge to do this live pairing means a lot to both of us. I wish I could have been a part of it. But I want to make sure that you understand how much we appreciate you and believe in your brand and you guys as individuals. It means a lot, Steve. You supported for me and Ray. You supported me and you supported Ray and you supported us collectively. And that means a lot. And you don't see a lot of the big box brands getting out there and doing the same thing that you guys are doing. So I always talk about culture versus community with the cigar world and how the smaller brands are coming along because one day you're going to be the big box brand, you know, and if you keep moving like this, man, I think we got a lot more to look forward to in the future. So I just want to say thank you to you guys for allowing the lounge to do this.
Hey, and
thank you. And listen, man, as the president of the company, this is part of our culture. This is part of our heritage. We will never abandon our clients or our markets. You want me to show up? I tell everybody, you want me to show up? I'm going up. You know, you want to experience this? We will experience it. You want us to get involved in your organizations? We will get involved, and we will never, ever, ever abandon that. That's that's the hallmark of who we are as a company. Listen, I'm a retailer too. I have a lounge, I have a bar, I work with all the vendors, I work with all the brands, and we do it different here, you know, and we're going to continue to do it different. And we want to know our community. We want to know what makes you guys successful. The other thing is, our goal, and I want to state this really clearly, our goal is to give back. We don't want, we want to be successful, and yep, we want to be big, and yep, we want to grow. But you know what? At the end of the day, we want to take what we're doing and we want to give back to the community. And that's the communities that support them and continue to support them. And that's going to be part of our DNA. That's who we are as a company. And that's not true for everybody.
Right.
It's like any industry. People are in it to make a buck, and that's what a lot of people are interested in. And they talk a big game, but they don't deliver a big game. And you guys see me out there. You see Jen out there. You see Steve and Shane out there. We're working in the markets that we serve. And we want to give back. So I'll encourage your listeners too, that if you have a community-focused organization that's trying to raise money, that's trying to do things in your community, bring us in to be a part of that. We want it. That's a fundraiser. We celebrate good causes. It's super important to us. And we rarely say no. I will tell you that right now. We rarely say no.
You know what? You know what, man?
He never says no.
Yeah, that's why when you see us at 4 a.m. in Atlanta, we're like, hey, we've been doing this for 2 weeks.
It's the truth.
And we gotta set up something where we get a group of people together and we run them through this pairing.
Let's do it.
We're gonna talk about what that looks like. We're gonna put it together, have some food and all of this, and sell tickets, and get this done. So that way there are other people that can go through this pairing, because it's an amazing journey. It's an amazing journey to go through this pairing. But if we have all of the cigars and the because I just got one,
you can't get it on the table, shit.
But that goes with two, but it's still an amazing journey to walk through this. Also, what's funny is watching Jen laugh as trying not to be seen laughing, but laughing at some of these comments.
Yeah, I've been sitting there looking at that. I'm trying not to laugh at that. Eugenio is off the chain in the comments today. He don't give us this much activity in the regular lounge.
That's awesome.
This is great. Thank you both so much for having us.
And I'll say,
we're gonna do it again. We're gonna do it again.
But the next time we're going to be in person, and we're going to have a group of people to walk through this and to experience this, because all y'all watching need to experience this. This is amazing.
Yes.
Thank you, Ray.
Yes,
you guys are like family to us, and I don't mean that lightly at all. I love both of you guys. You're amazing human beings, and you're just great people. I love what you're doing out there for the cigar community, and you guys serve other communities too, not just the cigar community. And I really appreciate the work that you guys put in to do it. And I'm here to support you forever. You guys are family to me, and I mean that.
Thank you. We know that, man. We appreciate it. The next time you come to Texas, we're not gonna have all of these last minute deals, and we're gonna actually get together like we planned a couple months ago and didn't get to do it. But
yeah, I know, right?
We're definitely gonna do that.
Well, you know what? Time knows no. We get together like no time has passed. So that's how you know. That's how you know.
Yeah, every time we get together, it's like I just saw you yesterday.
Yeah. The conversation continues. That's so much fun we had at the NOLA Cigar Fest Black and Gold Ball. We had a great time there together. Jen, you did jump behind the bar.
I did.
You did, and I did get a couple of your maple old fashions. And so it was an amazing thing. And Ray I thought he was being mean to the bartender, but after I had the first one and then I had yours, I was like, Oh hell no!
I
She
wasn't
needs
being
stand
mean
over
to
there
the
side.
bartender.
Yeah,
I was
you
standing
were.
there
Yeah,
and
you
I
were.
ordered a. I
You knew what
ordered.
the standard was. You knew what it should
Okay,
be.
Yeah,
it was
I
all about
ordered
the
a
standard. I
maple.
get
I
it.
ordered the maple old fashioned,
It
and
didn't taste like a maple old
she
fashioned.
started pouring the stuff. She poured the bitters, and she poured the maple bourbon in there, and she scooped ice. And I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
no, and she
No.
dumped it, and I'm like, no, and she
Yeah,
shake it, and I'm like, no.
That
What's
lady was
wrong
looking
with
at Ray
you?
like she looked at me like, what the hell's wrong with him? I
said,
said,
don't
hey,
shake.
he's a perfectionist.
I didn't say it loudly. I called her. I lean in a little bit. She said,
No, you said it pretty loud, bro.
I told her lean in. I still said it loudly, but I
Yeah,
told
you
her
said it
lean
real
in.
loud.
I say, hey, you don't shake whiskey. You stir that shit. The next one was much better.
But she was watching out. That's all them
I know
James
you came
Bond
and told me
films
you're
she been
like they're
watching.
shaking the old fashioned. I was like,
Yeah,
oh.
yeah.
So
When I
you
got
didn't
my
say yes.
second one, my second, third, and fourth ones were amazing. I was glad I had an Uber driver. My second, third, and fourth were amazing.
Yeah.
Well, with all due respect, we did throw those girls into the lion's pit. You know, it was like, here's what we're gonna make. This is what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
You know, we didn't have a lot of time to prep them, and now I hope they come back because they really got it down by the end of the night. And just to let you guys know, and we committed to do NOLA again. So we're going to be the prime sponsor for that event because it was so great and the people were so great. We are, just to let your audience know, we are going to be at Dallas Smoke Fest. And we will certainly be in Atlanta for Atlanta's event. And we're probably going to expand the portfolio this year. We may do Charleston. I think that was a good one. They've asked us to do that a couple of years. So I think we'll probably get involved in that organization as well. We kind of move north from Florida and Georgia. So, thank you guys for bringing us into the family.
Well, next year,
we made a lot of friends.
Cigar Fest is going to be, NOLA Cigar Fest is going to be, the Black and Gold Ball is going to be at a different location next year. It's going to be, it's a covered area. It's hard ground. It used to be what they have in New Orleans called brake tags. It used to be a brake tag station, but it's set up the way that we've used it before, but this year the way we're going to set it up is going to be a lot better. There's an outside area. There's ample parking. So the bar is going to be a different area and a different bartender. So it's going to be an actual bartender. So not just people who pour drinks.
See.
Wonderful.
He was so mean to that girl.
I know.
She wasn't coming back. She wasn't.
I heard.
Coming back. She wasn't coming back anyway.
No, she wasn't coming back after what she experienced.
You don't shake my whiskey. I'm sorry.
I left mine on the bar. Like I took 2 drinks out of it because I watched her pour cherry juice in there before she dropped the cherries in. I was like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah, I didn't drink the first one. Yeah,
my drink was on the house, so I didn't trip. I waited for the expert to come over there from the cigar table and make my drinks. That's what you do. You don't complain. You just move around.
It has to happen sometimes.
Yeah. That's what you do. You say, "Hey, Jen, I need you to make me a
Jen.
real one."
Yeah. Because this other one was brown water with a couple lumps of something in it that I didn't know
always
what was.
Always do
it. It was definitely brown water.
Definitely. You're welcome.
Thank you guys
for doing so much.
Thank you guys for doing this.
Hey, we're gonna have to run this back one more time so I can participate this next time.
Yeah. And what we'll do next, like I say, next time
we'll be live.
In the same place. We'll be in person. We're gonna make it a whole huge event. We'll have some maybe even some food at the end. But we're gonna do this big time next time.
That'd be great.
All right, well, I tell you what, we love you guys, man.
Maple whiskey ribs.
Yeah.
We'll have maple whiskey.
We'll have maple whiskey ribs as made by Brothers Oscuro, since he the one said it.
Oh yeah.
There we
that.
go.
Been,
I like.
Awesome.
man, there's some takeaways
All right,
from
cheers,
this.
everyone.
Have a great
All
night.
right, guys. Don't forget, here comes the floor. That's the term we take it away. Here comes the floor. That's what we take it away today.
All right. We appreciate y'all. Thank y'all so much.
Appreciate you. Have a good night.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, you guys.
All right. Y'all have a good night.